Hello there and welcome. You know, today I would like to discuss about Namibia as a country. I would like to reveal the reason to be where we are and how Namibia is performing as a country. You know, back then in 1989, when Namibia was about to get independence from South African apartheid colonial rules, our mothers, our uncles, and brothers and sisters who were in exile, they were they were very tired and they were exhausted. And by then, when the negotiations were going on, of course, they were promised to get the governing duty or to take over the administration. And for obvious reason, the economies were untouched, were not touched. In 1990, they were given that mandate to rule. So technically, everybody would want to think that the country is now free. We are now the crafters and drivers of our own destiny, and we're supposed to be now working for us. But then that was not the case. Of course, these people were given the right to govern, but then most of the really powers were not given to them. You can say they have rights over the army and the police force, but that's where it ends. The really economic powers remain where it was. Now, the education system was then supposed to be the tools to be the really economic capture, the tools that were supposed to be used to capture the economies to come into the Namibian hands. But what happened is that technically South Africa, as our governors or as our rulers by then, by extension, South Africa is being ruled from London. Now, what this guy did is that they were so smart enough that they have given the ruling power to these guys, and then they decided that it's them who are going to design the education system for us. Talking about Cambridge now. Now, the way that system was designed, it was done in such a way that you do not program people to think. People were not trained to think. People were trained for the aim of being the job robots. They were just training the labor machines that will be able to receive instructions in order to carry out a certain functions. You know, of all the companies that were already established here in Namibia, supermarket, insurance industry, the mining companies, the banks, they are from South Africa and by extension originally from London. Now these guys make sure that they were just designing, they only design a system that will train people to work within that economic space, the banks, the insurance industry, and then the mining industry, and maybe in the within the government structures. Now, it turns out that these people were only trained to receive instructions. They were given books to read, and in the end they are given tests to write, just to test whether they are able to remember what they have read, what they have studied. But they were not being tested whether they are capable of thinking, whether they are capable of creating something, so that we are able to create our own economy. Right now we are unable to do anything. We are not creating economy. But it turns out that now the established economic system that were in place, at the rate where this system were growing, it was so small, or in some cases not at all, compared to what the education system is producing. Now the economic system loop is full, and that is the reason why we have uncontrollable unemployment in the country. Why? People were only trained to work for somebody, and now that somebody's system is full, we are unable to, we have nowhere to put these people. Now, if these people were trained to think, if these people were trained to own minds, if these people were trained to grow their own foods, if these people were trained to create their own banks, we would have new things that are coming up. But right now everybody is sitting down. Everybody is sitting at home. Everybody is just blaming the politicians. Everybody is blaming who. The reason why he or she cannot find job is because of what? Because of this politician, because of this. But the overall problems came from the beginning. The way things were designed, they were not designed to empower you or to program your mind to be a decider or a writer of your own story. Now, that is how we ended up where we are, having people who graduated in finance or business and they are broke, having people who graduated from agriculture and they are unable to plant even a single tomato plant or onion. They can't. Why? They were not trained to create. They were not trained to produce. Today they are looking for job. You did agriculture, you are looking for a job to become a teacher, because you believe your belief system is programmed in such a way that you must work for somebody, you must work for a boss. You are not programmed to think on your own. You are not programmed to produce. You are not programmed to bring up something. And you know what? Good thinkers have taught us that when Toyota want to retire an old model, they don't criticize that old model. They create a new model that will make the existing old one, absolute. And obviously people will respond to the new model that came. They will rush to go buy a new one. What do I mean by this? You do not fight the existing reality, or you do not change the existing reality by fighting the old one. What do? You create a new model that will make the existing one absolute. That's what we must do to our education system. We need to create a system that will train people to become mine owners. We need to create an education, or to come up with an education system that will train or program people to be producers of food, to be really farmers, not agriculturalists that are buying tomatoes in the street. We need to create a system that will produce thinkers, people that are able to think into result. You know, God works to and through us. There is power that is constantly moving to and through us. We must have then the capacity to convert that power into ideas and move those ideas into actions, and then in the end we'll have result at the end, and we'll say, okay, these people are thinkers. Right now we have zero in our hands. Why? We are non-thinkers. We are trained to be robots that you can control, face this side, face this side. Every 5 years or every 4 years, politicians are coming to you to lie to you as to how they are now ready to improve your life, and you are believing them. Be your own destiny crafters. If you are listening to me now, I want you to forget everything that you hear from politicians. I want you to forget everything that you read from news. I want you to forget everything all the nonsense that comes from outside, and begin to think from inside out. Tell yourself what you want and do it. That is what you must do now. While we are busy trying to see if we can change the system, for now, change yourself and begin to think from inside out. Ignore all the outside noises. Ignore all the bad news and begin to think from inside out. Generate your thought. Create your own ideas. Turn them into things and do it. If it means that, whether you did agriculture, if it means that you must plant your own tomatoes, do it anyway. Doesn't matter whether we have land or not. Go and fetch land from the riverbeds and put them into buckets and grow your own tomatoes, grow your own onions, grow your own potatoes, grow everything. Do things on your own. That's my message today.